Vice President, how will you handle it on the debate stage if Trump decides to launch a personal attack?
Are you ready, Madam Vice President?
Ready.
The New York Times reporting on Saturday how Trump is approaching this. Quote, he has been briefed on Ms. Harris's past debate performances and her verbal tics. He remembers well her viral moment in 2020 when she debated Vice President Mike Pence and cut off his attempted interruption by saying, "I'm speaking." Referring to that exchange, Mr. Trump has privately told associates, "I'm not going to let her do to me what she did to Mike." Okay, y'all bring it now. Let's go. Everybody in the center of the ring. Let's mix this up. I like hearing that because that tells me Donald Trump is nervous. He's concerned. And so what does that say to you in your preparation, and how are you stress testing some of her messagings and, quote, tics to deal with Donald Trump?
Well, look, all jokes aside, we are taking this extremely seriously. Donald Trump is a skilled debater. He has been in the most presidential debates of any candidate in presidential history. This will be the vice president's first presidential debate as the nominee. And so, we know that Donald Trump is preparing, as he has been for weeks. And so he's going to come ready. But so is the vice president. She is ready to talk to Donald Trump about the issues facing voters across this country and the stakes of this election, reproductive freedom, while he continues to double down and wants to take away IVF and ban abortion nationwide in Project 2025. And so it's going to be an interesting debate. But make no mistake about it, Donald Trump will be prepared, as he has always been, and he is a showman. And so we know the stakes of this, and the vice president will be ready.
I mean, it's true. We saw that in the debate with President Biden, where just the bar is set so low for Donald Trump that even his showing any type of discipline is seen somehow.
Yeah, I appreciate you putting saying he's a skilled debater, but we'll let.
Yes, you can clearly see that these people are panicking. At a certain point, the kind of confidence they had, things are changing. Looking at recent polls, Ned Silver, which is a Democrat, we all know, clearly shows that Kamala momentum has gradually fallen apart. And when you see her coming here to say, "I'm ready," that is to tell you the level they are afraid of Trump. You heard this man say it clearly. Then he went further to say some ridiculous things like Trump want to ban abortion nationwide, talk about Project 2025. These are things we all know Trump debunked. Even CNN had to debunk that, but they will still continue to spew that out in air. It is insane that they can't even stop lying, even at this point. I really wish to see them say this so Trump can respond, so the world can see what exactly they are trying to pass. Kamala campaign is done. When you take a look at when Biden stepped aside, she came in, the momentum was high. We knew as days are going by, everything will go down gradually, and it has clearly shown that it's happening. So Libras at this point are scared that Trump should not win.
One thing I want to caution against, Sean, is exactly what happened in June. What I expect is that Donald Trump will once again run circles around Kamala Harris, just as he did with Joe Biden in that last debate. The question is that going to be good for us in winning this election or not? Because last time around, it was the catalyst for something drastic happening afterwards, which is in that case swapping out Joe Biden as the nominee. And I think if Kamala Harris really does tank in this debate, and I think there's a decent chance that happens, I think there are strange things that could happen between now and November, because the Democrats, they have been playing this as, in some ways, one step ahead.
You're suggesting that we may live through another change in candidates if she didn't have a good debate?
No, I don't think it's going to be a change in the candidates. The ballots have already been printed, but I do think that we have a machine that we're up against that has demonstrated that it is going to go to great measures to defeat Donald Trump. You trace this back over the last year and a half. You've got prosecutions. You've got civil cases. You've got extrajudicial attempts to remove him from the ballot. They told us Joe Biden was definitively going to be the nominee, then negotiated for the earliest ever presidential debate in U.S. history because they knew there was a good chance Biden would underperform. Once he did, they swapped him out. I think we've got to learn from those lessons, Sean, to say that they're still going to have many more tricks up their sleeve. So the two scenarios are either Kamala Harris overperforms. I don't expect that to happen. Or what I do expect to happen is Donald Trump to seriously defeat her in this debate as he did last time around. But don't expect that to be the end of this election. I think there's going to be more tricks left up their sleeve.
Today, Washington Bureau Chief Susan Page. You'll remember she moderated the 2020 vice presidential debate. Mary Catherine Ham, Fox News contributor and Outkick columnist, Fox News senior political analyst Juan Williams, and Guy Benson, townhall.com political editor, Fox News contributor, and host of The Guy Benson Show. Welcome, everybody. All right, Susan, you have a piece out about this morning. I mean, you were the last person to moderate a debate that Kamala Harris took part in.
That's right. Can you imagine she hasn't debated in 4 years? That might be a little bit of a concern for them that she's rusty. You know, in that debate, she hadn't been universally good in the primary debates in the 2020 cycle, but she was good in the vice presidential debate. She was prepared, and she made especially effective use of a put down of Pence when he interrupted her. This may be one reason they wanted mics to be live. She said, "Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking." And the Mr. Vice President sounded very respectful, and the "I'm speaking" made him risk looking disrespectful if he kept talking over her.
Well, we know how much is at stake. The New York Times today has brand new polling saying this. The national poll of likely voters found Mr. Trump leading Ms. Harris 48 to 47%. The new poll underscores the risks and potential rewards, particularly facing Ms. Harris on Tuesday night when she and Trump face off. I mean,
when you take a look at what Kamala and the campaign they were trying to put out, they wanted the same scenario, like to shut up Trump, and they didn't have. They came with rules with Biden during the debate. Oh, we don't want mic, things like that. Trump was like, oh, should I refuse? Trump accepted. Along the way, Democrats saw this like, this is an advantage. They took it. Now Kamala came out and said, oh, I don't want that. They should put on mic. They should allow us with note. You know, they rejected that all. It took them a very long time to accept this debate after a very long deliberations. So at this point, Kamala's moment that she has been looking for a very long time, she will not have. She wanted the same scenario, thinking, you know, saying some ridiculous thing like that will easily put Trump down. Trump is a tough person. When it concerns debate, something we cannot even argue about. Even liberals, like you saw at the beginning, accepted that, oh, he's a tough person. I really want to see how Trump is going to crush her so people can easily decide, know who exactly she is. And from the New York Times Post, you can clearly see the debate will decide who will win. That is the truth. Trump overtook Kamala in the latest New York Times Post released minutes ago. Trump is leading Harris by 1 point in the latest New York Times Post, showing the 2024 presidential race is extremely close. This is something we have not seen in a long time. If a Democrat conduct a poll, Trump is leading by 1 point, then you need to know if real people do it, how would that be?
We wrestle all the time, Madison Square Garden. It was great. First time I saw him, I said, let me see the eyebrows. Got it, there it is. That's cool. So he was a fan. He watched you as a fan. Oh, yeah, that's cool. He used to come to Madison Square Garden all the time. Big. Whether you love Donald, you don't love Donald, it doesn't matter. What tragic. There's no room for that. And yes, despite it being who we were in that moment, I still believe in my core that is not who we are as a country. So him standing up in that moment, you wanted to see that.
A couple of weeks ago, Bobby Kennedy, scion of the most storied dynasty in democracy.
It's important. You see it through.
That I have to say is one of the best
gun-toting.
Damn, Kamala.
Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on it.
For some people, it's already started.
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris,
they say and they disappear.
The money in politics is so extraordinary, which is something that should have never been allowed to happen.
Much more happenings at the DNC.